dragons.
Roar!
Whoa!
The dragons lived in a deep, dark cave that was in the king's forest. But the dragons were very happy in the cave. They had a good friend. He was called the Good Knight. No, wake up! The story isn't over yet.
I thought you said good night.
Well, I did say good night, but... No, wake up! I didn't mean to imply that it was bedtime. I was talking about your friend. He is a knight, and a very good fellow indeed.
Oh.
Well, carry on then.
As I was saying, the dragons had a good friend. He was called the Good Knight. Every day he rode his horse. He rode his horse to the dragon's cave to say,
Good morning, good dragons.
Good morning, good night.
No.
Wake up!
It's still ain't early yet. I thought you said good night.
as I was saying, and every night the good you-know-who rode his horse to put the dragons to bed.
Now?
Yes, now. The dragons said before they went to sleep,
Good night, good night. Good night, good dragons.
one day, after the Good Knight had ridden off on his horse, the dragons heard a knock at the door. It was another friend, the old wizard. He said to them,
Good day, good dragons. How would you can help me? You know chat. How are you to watch my cat while I go away for a few days? Can you do it?
the dragons had never watched cats before, but the Good Knight had taught them that it was good to do good deeds. The dragons looked at each other.
You cat there.
They looked at the wizard.
Show?
They looked at each other. The dragon said,
Certainly we will help you.
the old wizard was very happy. He told the dragons.
I'll read a note with instructions and my cartridge.
He left them the shiny silver key to his door. He said,
Take care, good dragon.
and then he disappeared in a puff of smoke. Said the first dragon.
This is gonna be fun.
Said the second dragon.
I can hardly wait.
Said the third dragon.
Yippee!
The next day, the dragons went to the wizard cottage to take care of the cats. They opened the door with the shiny silver key. They saw lots of cats. They found the wizard's note on the counter.
I think the first thing we're supposed to do is make the cat swim. Swimming.
So the dragons gathered up the cats and took them to the lake for a swim. Just then, the Good Knight was riding by. He said to them,
Good day, good dragons. What are you doing?
We are taking the wizard's cats for a swim.
He told us so.
the knight thought for a moment.
Swimming? That doesn't seem right. But if the old wizard said so, it must be right.
The knight said to the dragons,
Very well, carry on.
but the cats didn't like swimming.
Not one bit.
They howled. They yowled. They quivered. And they shivered. dragons took them home.
Everybody out of the water.
Then the little dragons looked at the wizard's note to see what to do next.
I think it says to put the cats in the cupboard.
So the dragons put the cats in the cupboard. Just then, the good knight was riding by. He asked the dragons,
What are you doing? We are putting the wizard's cats in the cupboard. He told us to.
the knight thought for a moment.
Cats in the cupboard? That doesn't seem right. But if the old wizard said so, it must be right.
The knight said to the dragons,
Very well. Carry on.
but the cats didn't like being in the cupboard.
Not one bit.
They howled.
Oh!
They yowled.
No!
They scritched.
Skit, skit, skit.
And they scratched.
Scat, 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 scat.
Until the little dragons let them out. By then, the cats were very thirsty and very hungry. And so were the dragons. But they looked at the note once more.
I think now we're supposed to take the cats camping. Camping?
So the dragons took the cats camping under the stars. Along came the good knight, who was on his way to take the dragons back to their cave. The first dragon said,
We are taking the cats camping.
The old wizard told us to.
the knight thought for a moment.
Cats camping? That doesn't seem right. But if the old wizard said so, it must be right.
The knight said to the dragons,
Very well. Carry on.
but the cats didn't like camping.
Not one bit.
They jumped. They bumped. They clawed.
Claw, claw, claw.
And they pawed.
Paw, 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 paw.
They cussed and fussed and hissed. And they would not even eat one toasted marshmallow.
Not.
The good knight could not help but hear all the racket the cats were making. He said,
Something doesn't seem right.
back he rode to the wizard's house, where the cats and dragons were camping in the front yard. The knight said to them,
Follow me, good dragon. Let's get to the bottom of this. Bring those cats too.
inside the wizard's house, the good knight found the wizard's note. It did not say to take the cats swimming. It did not say to put the cats in the cupboard or to take them camping. The knight said to the dragons,
Didn't you read this now?
the dragons hung their heads, their eyes filled with drippy tears.
We told them we will take care of.
But we don't know how to read.
So the good knight read the note to the dragons. First, they gave the cats water. Then they fed the cats food from the cupboard. And then they put the cats in their beds to sleep. By then, the dragons were very tired themselves. The good knight walked them back to their cave and tucked them in for the night. trip. He visited the dragons. He said,
Thank you for watching my cat. Thank you for watching my cat. You did such a good job. I want to leave you happy.
the wizard handed the dragons a tiny baby kitten of their own. Then he said,
I also want to leave you happy.
What is it?
A book about learning to read.
the end.
Yay!
Thank you.
Bravo!